What is going to be the impact of emerging technologies and the startup culture on legacy enterprises in the aviation industry? Hello and welcome to the 3 Point Junction. My name is Waqas, and this platform is the central point for converging ideas in design, operations, and management. Legacy enterprises in the aviation industry are an important component of the economic function in their host countries. These enterprises create jobs, generate revenue, and fuel growth across many different sectors. Considering the engineering infrastructure, operational capabilities, and the larger economic prospect associated with legacy enterprises, these are generally favored and subsidized by the local governments. Now, in a commercial sense, legacy enterprises have largely focused on servicing passengers for long distance travel. This has resulted in a consolidated development of a very specific type of technology infrastructure. Imagine powerful planes racing on long runways, propelled by jet fueled engines and serviced by extensive ground operations with compatible technologies. It's a complete ecosystem where the pull and push of technology is essentially linked to one same breed. This breed is here to stay because if we talk about passenger and cargo aircraft alone, currently there are over 25,000 such planes in service. Further, it is estimated that considering the ever increasing demand, the next 20 years will see this number of planes in service rise to over 60,000. And no one is better equipped to capture this increasing market share than the legacy enterprises themselves. Naturally, the legacy enterprises are going to expand the footprint of their existing technology infrastructure to further consolidate their position with an extended market share. So, at this stage, the legacy enterprises don't really need to reinvent the wheel as such. They can simply continue to refine their established technologies and focus on advancing operational efficiencies with strategically measured incremental improvements. It would be a huge self imposed risk for the legacy enterprises if they were to introduce and fast track any parallel technology shift at this time. Certainly, they would like to keep themselves aware of the potential of new breeds of emerging technologies, and they would clearly want to plan for a long term transition, but they wouldn't really want to advocate for any kind of disruptive technologies ahead of time because in doing so, the legacy enterprises will end up making their own existing legacy ecosystem redundant. But what about those startups that are flexing their muscles with emerging technologies and parallel concepts? Because it is evident that a vibrant startup culture is knocking at the door with a range of fresh ideas. Small teams are successfully developing proof of concept prototypes to demonstrate the feasibility and sustained potential of their creative inventions. And through functional display of their products and services, these young teams are calling out to the regulators for recognition and subsequent integration into mainstream aviation industry. This integration, however, is not easy because the barriers to entry are extremely strong. Even the companies which are developing products and services that are of the same traditional breed as the legacy enterprises are in fact struggling to make sales. Government support, consumer interest, and supply chain partnerships are clearly biased towards the legacy enterprises. Now, if such is the case, then where is the space for any of these new startups and emerging technologies in the aviation industry? There are two distinct opportunities for emerging technology startup models. One is to work in collaboration with the legacy enterprises themselves, and the other is to focus on advanced aerial mobility for urban and regional transportation systems. Legacy enterprises are under pressure to reduce their carbon emissions. In fact, they have agreed on a collective goal of net zero carbon emissions by the year 2050. So, there is a definite scope of improving their existing systems in terms of sustainable aviation practices. The commitment towards the climate is one of the key factors that is encouraging legacy enterprises to engage with startups and conceive sustainable solutions in partnership. Startup companies have the energy and the agility to come up with robust solutions within reasonably short timeframes, and legacy enterprises are certainly happy to partner with them for crucial R&D initiatives. On the other hand, the surge in demand for products and services by legacy enterprises is yet another factor that is calling for collaborative efforts between legacy businesses and the MSMEs. the micro, small, and medium enterprises. Legacy enterprises have been establishing joint venture partnerships with the MSMEs on program dependent peak load requirement outsourcing procedures aimed at making up for their own limited production and service capacities. This enables the establishment of a qualified supplier network for long term partnerships on extended production and service programs. Currently, the real charm for independent startups is largely found to be in the urban aerial mobility segment. The prospect relating to the eVTOLs, vertiports, and flying taxis is a different breed altogether. Regulatory framework is still immature at this stage, but it does seem like most supervision is going to fall under the domains of the local urban transport management system. This is going to create a new playing field away from the dominant influence of the legacy enterprises, where all stakeholders now begin on an equal footing. So each holds equal probability for success, and thus there is enthusiastic participation for lead initiative, practical innovation across the spectrum. On the other hand, there are some serious opportunities for startups that are looking to develop a medium range electric propulsion aircraft, mainly in part with the regional aerial mobility segment. If there is anything that could shake the reins of legacy enterprises over the long term, it would have to come from this technology shift brewing in the shape of medium range electric propulsion aircraft. If this technology develops fast and if it's able to see through all the relevant safety and operational certification procedures, then passengers will finally have the option to choose between two different breeds of technologies. In the end, the defining factors would largely depend on government initiatives at that time, consumer pricing, and public sentiment around climate change. In conclusion, legacy enterprises in the aviation industry are vital pillars of economic stability, creating jobs and driving revenue. Their focus on long distance travel has crafted a very specialized technological ecosystem driven primarily by the jet fueled engines. But today, as the aviation industry is embracing sustainability, these legacy enterprises have also committed to net zero carbon emissions by the year 2050, sparking a series of collaborations with agile startups for innovative solutions and sustainable practices. Urban aerial mobility and electric propulsion aircraft are also offering some fresh avenues on parallel grounds. On one side, there is established technology from legacy enterprises, and on the other hand, there is youthful aspiration for emerging trends. As we gaze into the future of aviation, legacy enterprises, with their decades of experience and resilience, are beginning to coexist with emerging technologies, setting the stage for a dynamic and an environmentally conscious aviation industry. Ultimately, the choices made by governments, cost of services, travel preferences of the passengers, and the collective sentiment around climate change will determine the course of the future, a course where the legacies of the past and the innovations of the future may well soar together.